It was a starry night in the city of New Orleans. Tiana and her best friend Charlotte were listening to Tiana's mother tell a story about a princess and a frog. There is no way in this whole wide world would I ever kiss a frog, said Tiana, wrinkling her nose. Charlotte sighed dreamily. I would kiss 100 frogs if I could marry a prince and be a princess, she said. Tiana loved stories about princes and castles, but her dream was one she shared with her father, to open their very own restaurant someday. Later that night, Tiana wished on the evening star for the restaurant. Tiana's father encouraged Tiana's dream, but he also told her to work hard and remember that the love of family and friends was the most important thing. Tiana never forgot her father's advice. She never gave up her dream. Nearly 15 years later, after her father had passed away, she worked as a waitress and saved to buy a restaurant. One day, Tiana's friend Charlotte burst into the diner. Prince Naveen of Maldonia is coming to our masquerade ball tonight, she said excitedly. She ordered 500 of Tiana's beignets. With this sale, Tiana now had enough money to buy her own restaurant. Meanwhile, Prince Naveen had already arrived in town with his valet, Lawrence. Seeing the handsome prince, the evil Dr. Facilier had an idea. Using bad magic and a special charm, he manipulated Lawrence and Naveen. The prince was turned into a frog, while the jealous Lawrence took on the form of Naveen. Facilier hoped that Charlotte would marry the fake prince, and then Facilier would get her riches. That night at the ball, Tiana learned that she had been outbid for the restaurant. She had just 3 days to raise more money. She went out to the balcony and looked up at the evening star. I cannot believe I'm doing this, she said, and wished for her restaurant once again. She opened her eyes and saw a frog before her. It was Naveen, in his frog form. Thinking Tiana was a princess, he asked her for a kiss. In turn, he said he would give Tiana her restaurant. But when Tiana kissed him, she turned into a frog too. It serves me right for wishing on stars, said Tiana. The only way to get what you want in this world is through hard work. The two frogs ended up in a bayou. There, they met a jazz-loving alligator named Louis and a firefly named Ray. The new friends wanted to help Naveen and Tiana, so they all went to see Mama Odie, a woman using good magic. Naveen and Tiana told Mama Odie that they wanted to become human again. Mama Odie told the frogs to find out what they needed, not just what they wanted. Suddenly, Naveen realized that what he needed was Tiana. He had fallen in love with her. Mama Odie sent the frogs back to New Orleans with a mission. Naveen must kiss Charlotte, the princess of Mardi Gras. But her reign would only last until midnight. On the steamboat back to the city, Naveen nearly proposed to Tiana. But he was cut off when she excitedly pointed to the spot of her restaurant. She was starting to believe her dream might still come true. Naveen sadly hopped away. He knew that Tiana's dream was slipping out of her grasp. Naveen was willing to sacrifice his own happiness to help Tiana. He decided to kiss Charlotte, marry her, and ask her to give Tiana her restaurant. Charlotte would become a princess, and Tiana would get her dream. Suddenly, Dr. Facilier's evil shadow friends captured Naveen. Facilier had promised to share Charlotte's wealth with them, in exchange for their help. Naveen was needed to refill the magic in Facilier's charm, a charm which kept the valet Lawrence disguised as the prince. With the help of Ray, Naveen escaped and stole the charm from Lawrence. Without the charm, Lawrence transformed from Naveen back to his real self. Ray brought Tiana the charm and told her to run. Dr. Facilier chased her. In a poof of magic, Facilier showed Tiana her dreams. He could make her human again and give her a restaurant. But Tiana did not need that. She thought about her father and the advice he gave. He had love, she shouted. He never lost sight of what was really important. And neither will I. Tiana shattered the charm. Now Facilier had no way to keep up his end of the bargain with the shadows, who chased him into the night. At once, Tiana was back to reality, and back to being a frog. With Facilier finally defeated, Tiana hurried to find Naveen. She had to tell him how she felt. Tiana found the prince talking to Charlotte. He asked Charlotte to kiss him so that both he and Tiana could become human. He also asked Charlotte to promise to give Tiana her dream restaurant. "Stop!" Tiana called out to Naveen. "My dream wouldn't be complete without you in it." Charlotte's eyes filled with tears. She decided to make both frogs human, even if it meant she wouldn't get her prince. "All my life I read about true love in fairy tales," she said. "I'll kiss you, your highness. No marriage required." But it was too late. When Charlotte kissed Naveen, nothing happened. It was after midnight, and she was no longer the princess of Mardi Gras. Tiana and Naveen smiled at each other. Even though they wanted to be human, they knew that they had all they needed, each other. The next morning, the frogs had a beautiful Bayou wedding. Just as the two frogs kissed, a rush of magic surrounded them. They were human again. Once Tiana married Naveen, she became a princess. "Like I told you," said Mama Odie, "kissing a princess always breaks the spell." Back in the city, Tiana finally opened her dream restaurant with her prince by her side. They were surrounded by the love of family and friends. Tiana's dreams had come true. She had more than she ever wanted and everything she ever needed. The end.